What's up, everybody? So, we all know the biggest challenge that real estate entrepreneurs have in today's day and age of real estate investing, which has probably always been this way, right? Is raising private money, getting financing for your deals. I don't care how great of a marketer that you are, I don't care how great of a closer that you are. If you can close deals, you can market for deals, that's great and that's necessary. That's very, very important. That's very good. But if you can't get the money, get the deal closed, or you're just stuck having to wholesale your deals out, you're going to watch this video where I talk all about everything that we do to raise private money. So check it out.
Next, we have Brant Phillips. Brant is the founder of Invest Home Pro. He started buying houses while living in an apartment and has since flipped hundreds of houses. His company was recognized by Inc. 5000 as one of America's fastest growing private companies. His real estate team of nearly 300 agents spans across the US and Canada. So, welcome, Brant. The floor is all yours.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. What we're looking at 20-25 minutes? Is that how long we have here?
Yes, you have until 3:50.
Well, all right. So I was listening to a lot of conversation with Alex and Jet, and Alex and the Jet team are incredible. And really my path to be able to present today about how to raise private money really started from borrowing from hard money lending companies back in the day. I think I had done close to 25 or 30 hard money loans before I really learned about raising private money and other things, big lines of credit and stuff like that Alex went to. So if you're just getting started out as a real estate investor, an investor agent, then 100%, I really recommend that you cut your teeth, so to speak, with the money lending route and give Alex and Jet a call and really get some deals and experience under your belt. But when you're ready to go to the next level, for those of you who are watching let's talk about private money. So let's go over what we're going to cover today. So I'm excited to share this. I'm going to talk pretty fast to cover, try to cover all these slides and give you guys the most value as I can in a short period of time. So what we're going to cover is why most investors and agents struggle to raise private money when that time comes. I'm going to show you my number one source and location to find private lenders. I'm going to show you why you should stop pitching deals if you're doing that and stop asking to borrow money. And then we're going to dive into real briefly the psychology of private lenders, really important. Obviously, covering the biggest mistakes that investors make trying to raise capital is something you're going to want to see, as well as let's make this easy. The easiest, most effective way to raise private capital and really how to build a system so that private lenders chase you. It sounds kind of a little far-fetched, but it's not. So my name is Brant Phillips. Let's not really talk about who I am, what I've done, and skins on the wall and stuff like that right now. If you stick around for a little bit, I will tell a little bit about my story and what's brought me here. But right now, I want to talk about not what I am, but what I am not. Okay, I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm not certainly not a financial advisor. And so I'm not going to tell anybody that this is easy. Like that, this is not a get rich quick scheme. A lot of things in real estate are hard. And I'm not offering any security opportunity to invest with me or my company, right? What I'm really going to be doing is just sharing with you what my experience has been over 14 years of being involved in investment, real estate, doing hundreds of deals from essentially all asset classes, and just do my best to do that with you. And the first thing I do want to start out though is with a little warning from the SEC. This is very important, so I do suggest that anyone watching this that's really considering raising private money, take some time to understand the legal aspects of raising private money for private investors, what is allowed and what is prohibited, right? So this is one of the first things I did whenever I found out, that I could go to jail if I did it the wrong way. me being 7 years previously law enforcement, I didn't want to go to jail, especially since I have wife and kids. And so what I did was I paid an attorney for a consulting session, said, hey, I want to raise money. What can I do without going to jail? And I'll give you a little tip on what he shared with me is like, you can educate people till you're blue in the face, right? And so really you're going to see what I learned in that meeting, which is just educating people and helping people. Really kind of is going to give you a little glimpse on what we're going to be doing here, and hopefully it's going to help all you here, and you will in turn go out and help some private lenders to fund your deals, right? So it's win-win, right? So you came here for a reason, right? If you are a real estate investor, perhaps you're an agent, you're thinking about doing some deals. I work with agents all the time who are wanting to level up and take down some of this real estate for themselves, either as a rental or as a flip. Well, we all need to fund deals, right? If we are investors. So this is, my friends, the number one challenge for investors in today's market. By the way, Chris and I talked and they did a little poll, and that was the number one issue that people are facing today. So let's talk about the two things that real estate investors should be doing in their business every day. I call it ABM. Always be marketing. Always be marketing for what? You as a real estate entrepreneur, a real estate agent, a real estate investor, you need to build the systems and the habits and the processes so you can always be marketing for deals. It's absolutely critical, and always marketing for dollars. However, what I've seen is this, the 80-20 rule, is that most investors and agents for that matter, right? Because that's how they focus on their business. They're focused more so on the deals, getting deal flow coming in, and that's great. And you should be spending time on that. But I would say less than 20% of their time, energy, effort, and resources are spent actually raising money and capital for their deals, right? And so I like to talk about McDonald's and Coca-Cola when it comes to marketing. You know, everybody knows about McDonald's and everybody knows about Coca-Cola. However, I guarantee you, if you sit down and watch, television for any period of time, or these days you go on, whatever social media platform, you're probably going to see some advertising for McDonald's and Coca-Cola. Like right now, my mouth is salivating because I know the McRib sandwich is back for a limited time only, right? So, just take take some notes from McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and other successful companies. Why are they doing it? Even though everybody knows about these companies, they are constantly marketing their business, and I think that we as real estate entrepreneurs and business owners should take that into consideration. So this is what I realized a long time ago. As I just had this thought because I was seeing it, and I was like, look, most of these wholesalers and even agents who are bringing me deals, but they wanted to take these deals down themselves. They couldn't close on the deals because they didn't know how to raise capital. And honestly, when I started, I was working full-time in corporate America. I was very busy. I was managing rehabs. I started building a rental portfolio. I didn't really have the time or the desire, to be quite honest, to go out and do all this deal flow marketing and to talk to sellers and do all that kind of stuff. That wasn't my strong suit. So I said, hey, I'm just going to figure out the money side of this thing so they can bring their deals to me. And that really worked. So I decided, to let other people focus on marketing for the most part. And I would just be the guy with the money available to close every real deal. Now, this wasn't my money at all. Like I said, I haven't really gotten my story, but I started while I was living in an apartment. I had zero money. It was a credit card to buy my first house. And I was just able to begin raising private money, and I knew how to acquire hard money lending as well. So I was able to begin to capitalize on other people's efforts to find these deals, going back 10, 12, 14 years ago, properties that I still own to this day. But sadly, most of these wholesalers and many of the agents that I worked with 13, even 14 years ago, they're still stuck, right? They're still stuck wholesaling and unable to raise capital for their deals. And that makes me sad, because if somebody, got into real estate for the same reason I did, which was to create wealth and to create passive income and, to create this kind of lifestyle for myself and my family that I've dreamed of. And I know other people want to create their own version of that for themselves and their family, but they're not able to. And they're so close, they're so incredibly close, but they haven't figured out this aspect of raising money. So, okay, kind of trick question, but do you want to see the system I've built to raise tens of millions of dollars? I don't know, Chris and Jamie, let me know. Do we need some engagement here before I go on? And if nobody's engaging, do we just stop? What's the deal?
I don't think anyone here needs any money.
All right, all right,
just,
cool.
just me. Keep going for my benefit.
All right, for your benefit. Well, let me show you some those results of the system that we built. So, one thing that we did implemented a long time ago was I mentioned that, hey, how can you get private lenders chasing you? Well, some of my lenders have seen me make that phrase like, "Oh, am I chasing you?" I'm like, "Well, kind of." But with all due respect to my lenders who I love and appreciate, and they're really team members and family in a lot of instances, um, are critical to our business. But what I realized is so many investors are out there and they're not really attacking or they're not raising money the right way. Let me just say that. And so I really started looking at the psychology, the sales process, and things like that, and really just how to organize and better systematize my own business. So we created a private mortgage lending application because, truth be told, not every private lender is a good fit for our company. Some are, some aren't, and that's okay. But we implemented this a long time ago, and this was just a snapshot of applications that we received in 1 week. You can see we have them fill out a little questionnaire application, if you will, telling us how much, a little bit about their experience, if they're accredited, do they, how much money do they have to invest, what interest rates are they looking for, where is that money coming from, and how soon they would like to invest. So it's kind of a screening process. And so this is all taken just from a 1 week period, So we've received hundreds of applications like this over the years. So I'm just showing you what is possible when you do things the right way. And I kind of mentioned this earlier, but let me tell you, one thing we don't do is pitch deals to potential investors without pitching value and establishing trust, right? So we lead with value, establish trust, and you got to take that seriously. Okay, so let's talk about the psychology a little bit of private lenders, but really just customers in general. This is just basic sales 101. But I'm going to tell you that most private lenders, a lot of the lenders that we work with for the first time, they're not experienced and they're afraid to lend you money. They're afraid, and really for good reason. Okay, for good reason. I'm going to tell you that there is a private money law of attraction. That private money is attracted to two things, which is good deals and trustworthy people. But a lot of times, I'm going to back up, is a lot of times lenders are coming in and they don't know you. They don't know a lot about this business. They don't know, how this process works. They don't know how to define a good deal from a bad deal. They don't know what, a title commitment is. They don't know the importance of getting a survey and how to secure the property and all these things. They have this idea, this thought that they'd like to invest passively in real estate and earn above market rates of return. All this kind of stuff sounds great to them, but they have a lot of questions, right? And what it really relates to is fear. And so even though this private money law of attraction is 100% true, and this is what you have to really create, is putting together good deals and operating with honesty, integrity, and representing yourself as a trustworthy person. But if you're not able to communicate these things, if you're not able to really build that knowledge base for your lender, then you're never going to overcome the fear and kind of the psychology thing that's going on. Okay, so we're going to get to that in just a little bit, but before we talk about that, I want to also talk about the opportunity. Okay, I want to talk about the opportunity that's here before we get into it, because some of you may be thinking, having the scarcity mindset of like, I don't know if I can find lenders, maybe there's not enough out there, they're never going to trust me. Well, there's literally billions of dollars sitting not only in banks, but in self-directed IRAs, companies, and they're sitting slowly making zero interest because of the reasons I just mentioned, that potential lenders are not sure who to work with. And that goes back to that lack of trust and lack of knowledge. Okay. And this, by the way, is, I mentioned earlier, I was going to reveal my number one source of private lenders. It's self-directed IRA companies. Why is that? Because these people have taken money out of other retirement accounts and other sources and funds. They've done a lot of paperwork. They've moved this money over, set it up, and established it so that it is in position to lend to real estate and other self-directed asset classes. But in this slide here, I mentioned that there's billions of dollars available in self-directed IRAs. And if you look at the number one asset where self-directed IRA investments go, it is to real estate. Okay, so the pull is very, very big, my friends. So if you're really going to take this serious, what I encourage you to do is to stop pitching deals. Don't even talk about your deals. I never talk about my deals until I've done this, until I lead with value. I seek first to understand. This is a Stephen Covey thing. Seek first to understand, then be understood. And really, if you look at the highlighted section, what I focus on, I don't focus on, in my business, I don't focus on raising money directly. I do that indirectly. But how I do it, I educate people. I act as an advocate for them to help them. I inform them about here's how you can identify a good deal versus a bad deal. Here's what a good borrower may look like and what they may provide. Here's how you secure your deal. And I just try to help them. And by helping them, I know that they may not be a good fit for me and my company, that I may give them so much education that they go invest with other people. That's okay, because my intention is just to do this. This is my goal. I know if I do this enough, if I give enough value into the private lending marketplace, if you will, I just need 0.0001%, right, to come back, and that funds all the deals that we need to be funded. And I'll show you what we've got funded right now actively. So I like to talk about the word advocate rather than pitching deals and asking people to borrow money. An advocate is a person who speaks or writes in support or defense of a person or a cause. And that's really what I learned to do years ago, is just to be an advocate for private lenders. And I'll show you some ways that I've done that and some ways that you can do that as well. So what's better, right? Like pitching a deal to get funded at the last minute. Been there, done that. Very stressful, not fun. And unfortunately, when there's networking events going on, and there's not a whole lot going on right now due to COVID, but I see it at these events and they're pitching a deal and they're desperate. I had a guy text me today, he's need last minute funding on a deal. It's not a fun situation to be in, versus having private lenders just waiting in line, asking you if you'd be willing to allow them to invest in one of your deals. I can go in my inbox right now and show you lenders that have emailed me today asking that. So it's a good problem to have. So what I encourage you to do is, once again, just like McDonald's, just like Coca-Cola, have consistency. Just be consistent in your efforts. Don't worry about perfection, especially in the beginning, because you're not gonna, know all the answers to all the questions that lenders have, and you're gonna make some mistakes and things like that in terms of your communication. Don't let it be in your actual performance of the loans, but just in communication. But as you do this more and more and more, and talk to people and help people and answer questions, as information, familiarity, and experience increase, fear subsides. And this is important because this is the same thing for your private lenders. The more information that they have, the more familiarity that they have with you and with our the private lending industry and process and experience, their fear is going to subside as well. So my friend Chris Bounds here is becoming a beast when it comes to building funnels. And we all know that effective funnels work, right? This is the day and age that we live in, 2021. So you're gonna need to create your own little funnel here, right? And it just really means is creating some marketing, creating some messaging, adding some value out, putting that out into the marketplace so that you can create awareness, create interest, so that people can take an action. And that action many times is not necessarily, the next thing is not to, hey, I want to invest with you, but Hey, let's schedule a call. Hey, let's go meet for coffee. Hey, let me ask you some questions about this. How does this work? So I told you earlier I was going to talk about my story a little bit. So when I first got started in real estate, this is going back 14 years ago, and this was in right on the 2007, right on the verge of the crash in 2008. Deals were everywhere. I mean, you could walk down the street and trip over a real estate deal, but raising capital at low interest rates was a big challenge. I was 100% borrowing from hard money. And really hard money wasn't sustainable, especially when the market started to shift and turn. Now it helped me get my feet wet. But what does every investor want? They want to take the training wheels off and really graduate, if you will. And that's what private money is, really helps you get deals done faster and put more money in your pocket in the end. So I'll talk briefly about myself. So my name is Brant Phillips. I used a credit card to buy my first investment property in 2007. It wasn't because it was a creative strategy that I learned about. It was because I was broke and I had no money. Okay. My wife and I were living in an apartment. We had just finished paying off our student loans, doing this Dave Ramsey. We're debt free. Woohoo. And then I learned about good debt. Immediately after attending that class, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, other real estate books. I'm like, Mr. Ramsey didn't talk about good debt. He talked about bad debt. So we took care of our bad debt thing and used a credit card to buy some good debt. I began buying rentals, about 10 rentals. My first year while working my full-time corporate job, I did the same thing. The following year, I bought 10 more rentals while working my full-time corporate job. Went full-time into real estate in 2009. So I've actually been full-time real estate, I guess 12 years, 13 years, and full-time 14, 15 years, something like that. I'm losing count. So here's where we're at today. I've borrowed a lot of money. I'll just say that, and repaid that back since 2007. And I don't say this to brag or boast, but I have a 100% track record on performing on all my loans. I say that to impress upon you the importance of, if you're going to go down this path of raising private money, I encourage you to have 100% commitment. I've told my wife that if anything were ever to happen with my private, with my deals or market goes sideways, that we live on the streets, my lenders come first, and in terms of my commitment to get them paid back. So I encourage everyone to take on that mindset. I found that I like writing books. I've written a few books over the years. You can see them below. Also created a company called Invest Home Pro, which I'm very proud was able to hit the Inc. 5000 list a few years ago. And we've done a lot, rentals, flips, owner finance, commercial. We have a commercial property now, commercial office-based building. We also even own mobile homes and RV parks. And I've been a 2-time EXP Icon agent since I've been a licensed agent for a long time, deactivated. Didn't really use my license until I saw EXP, and proud to be a part of that company. And so part of the reason I'm sharing that is really building up to this is, many years ago, I just learned the importance of education. Not only, for myself, I wouldn't be here if I didn't start actually picking up books and reading them, because I didn't do that. Barely got out of high school until, basically it was kind of life or death for me and my family, because I was broke and I really hated my life, and what I did in the corporate world. And really books were just a part of my saving grace. And when I began learning more and more about the opportunity of private lending and how great it was, and how many, honestly, so many people got slaughtered in the stock market, I wanted to help them. So I took some time to write that book. And so today, compared to like 13, 14 years ago, I've got way more money than deals, a strong relationship with lenders. And I know by me doing more deals, I get to help more people. And that means my lenders. I'm begin lending myself and lending money to people, students, agents in my network. I've got 4 or 5 loans out right now to agents who are on my team. And we've got $8 million in money right now that's active in the market today. And by the way, on average, we're paying about 8.5% for our money, oftentimes with no points. So it's really good financing. Here's my why. This is my family. I encourage, the only reason I'm sharing this is, like, you got to have a why. You got to have a mission. If you don't have it, get it. And so that's why I'm asking, what is your why? What is your story? Why are you here? And guess what? Your lenders want to know. Okay. So this isn't about pitching deals, guys. It's about establishing trust. It's about cultivating relationships. I like to say that private mortgage lending is really relationship-based lending, backed by all the proper paperwork, the proper processes and systems, and doing right by your lenders and by your agreements. But your lenders want to know, right? And so we all know, like you guys know this, even if you never been through one of my presentations, but private money, it changes everything. It opens up so much opportunity. And so what if you could raise the money in a fraction of the time it takes for most real estate investors? And what if private lenders began chasing you? Because I hope that they will for you, because we have more than we have more money we can put to work. Okay. So 2 questions for you to answer: how and how often. When we're going to talk about marketing here and how to market. So I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to walk you through a few slides. I'm going to go real quick, but these are slides I use to teach potential lenders about private mortgage lending. And I've given Chris access to these for people on his team. And it's a tremendous value to this, because what I started doing was everything I've talked about. Rather than trying to sell anybody and pitch a deal, I just started explaining the steps and how it works. I didn't sell. I didn't make any offer for them to invest with me. There was no conversation about it. Instead, I just documented the process, right? And so this is a slideshow here that really just does that. It explains the processes and, how to secure their deal and how to qualify investors and, how to look at a good deal and how to rate risk factors and, what are the notes and terms and deeds that they need to secure a deal, what the process looks like. I gave them a little case study. And that's a quick, run through those slides, something that I'll present for an hour and a half to lenders, either live or via Zoom or one-on-one. But through those slides, if you see what I didn't do there, I didn't pitch a deal and ask to borrow money. And I don't do that. But guess what happens? The more you educate people, the more you show a case study. Hey, here's a deal I did with one of my private lenders. Here's how you can secure yourself. Here's how you analyze the deal. People say, Brant, man, that looks really great. No one's ever explained it to me. Is it possible? Could I invest with you in one of your deals? And that's how, I'm like, sure, I'd love to talk to you about that. Let's see if it's a good fit for you and your goals. What are your goals? What do you have any concerns or any deals you don't like? And that's my response to them, is going back and asking open-ended questions. So that's what I did, right? I told a story, and that's why I ask you, what's your story? Because your lenders want to know, right? And that's what I did. I told a story. I gave them information, provided education, gave them some things to consider, not to sell them on, and just showed them a better way, in my opinion. And I just acted as an advocate, if you will. So how often should you be doing something similar to this? Marketing your business, right? Marketing for deals, marketing for dollars, really every day. And how do you do it? I mean, here we are in 2021, social media, YouTube, putting together, training, email marketing, blogging, websites. There's so many things that you can do on a daily basis to leverage your time, leverage technology, and get private lenders chasing you. Chris, I'm going to wrap up here. I know that we're done.
Yeah. 2 more minutes.
All right. So these are testimonials, not from me, but from lenders, and talking about a little bit about not me, the book, but just about, this opportunity and how great it is when you do it the right way. So I'm not going to go through that. You just have to ask yourself, what's the impact? If you even get one new lender in your business, it's huge. I mean, we're closing rental properties, flip property. We just closed a mobile home park in Illinois. We're getting close to going under contract on another mobile home park out of the state in Ohio that we'll be using our private lenders funds. And we're doing a 100-acre development deal, all with private money. So the cost of your inaction is it's costly. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you could be stuck in the same boat 5 or 10 years from now. Don't be that person. Take time, take action, commit, plan, market, assess, repeat. If you want a copy of my book, you can get it there, or you can just reach out to Chris and Jamie. That would be much better. And that is all I have, my friends.
Love it. Brant, you've been a true leader in our community for a long time, and I'd followed you before we ever got connected. And the short story to that is I knew he did an Ironman, Misery Likes Company. We had a little gentleman's bet and we got to know each other. After that, he beat me by like 15 minutes, but it did take him the third lap. But hey, a win's a win, right?
That's all that matters, my friend.
And we've had a lot of fun just collaborating and networking over the year, and doing a lot of work together in what I'm about to go over. So, Brant, we're going to have you back on here in a little bit. Feel free to hang out backstage. Thank you so much, and look in the chats too, in the chat, because I know some folks they've got some things for you and some questions. So, thank you so much, Brant.
Do it. All right. Thank you, guys.